There's so many agents across the country. You have to have somebody that knows the area. There's two different types of buyers. You got buyers that want to go out and they want it to the T, like they're killing trophy deer only, and you got the group of people that want to go out and just have fun and hunt. You got two different mindsets there. In the gist of things, you're looking for, where can you put food plots, wind directions, access from, the north, south, east, west, what's your predominant winds. Typically where I'm at, it's a north-northwest wind, so you want to prepare for that. Another thing is to look at CRP options, look at, a lot of times I have people call me on a 50-50 farm or a 70-30. They want some income just to help pay taxes or buy a box blind or something along the lines of that. So if somebody calls me and they're looking in this area, I'm going to tell them straight up and be honest with them. If I don't know exactly what's going on there, I know somebody that does. So I can make a phone call. Hey, what's the quality of deer here? Things like that. Timber's a big thing too. A lot of people don't like cutting their timber, but they like to know there's value there. So looking for white oaks, walnuts, things like that. So looking at an aerial and then putting boots on the ground, I love looking at farms this time of year because you're seeing deer tracks, how they move through the farm. I'll go through on OnX or Land ID and map trails for people and pinch points and why this ridge ties into this and where they're bedding and how they move. And TSI is a big thing. I've done some of that in the past for people, where to put food plots, how to access it. I had a gentleman call me today. He's like, hey, what about putting, he has a farm that's kind of open. He's like, how can I make it a better deer hunting farm? And we were talking about pros and cons versus CRP versus keeping it tillable and bedding, and how much food he could put in. I almost tell people when they buy a farm, hunt it for a year, watch what the deer do, and then make adjustments. Like, you're always learning. Like, I have farms that I've hunted for 10 or 15 years, and I'm still learning those farms, because if the neighbor's farm's in corn or the neighbor's farm's in beans or whatever, it changes their movement. So you got to always be learning from the land, learning from the wildlife, be open-minded, get creative and change things. Like on my parents' farm, you can see the house from my food plot. So I planted a big barrier. So now the deer would almost run across the field. Well, that's not a good experience from hunting. You're like, oh, boom, well, that's not fun. So I planted a big barrier. Now the deer come out. I got a couple acres of standing corn. They come out, they enjoy it. You can't see the house because the Egyptian wheat is so tall, and just a minor tweak like that changed that entire farm. And I've killed some good deer there. A lot of people want timber, right? And I've killed my biggest deer on farms that you look at an aerial and you'd be like, what? You're hunting there? But you just got to know what type of deer you're hunting, how they move, things like that. Putting the food plots in key areas where those deer are going to come out in daylight, where they're safe, they're secluded. Some of the better hunting farms I've seen have been open ground, but you put the food in the right spot and you hunt it on a north wind where you're, predominantly going to have colder weather and things like that, where your deer are going to move. You plant soybeans. Pick a farm, what are your goals? Because some people like hunting big timber, during the rut. Some people like hunting early season. Some people like hunting late season. So it's what type of hunter are you? And that's our job as agents to figure that out too, is what type of hunter are you? Is this farm it for you? And you can create it, but having a good base to start that process helps as well.